We're going to start in the Gaza Strip, where Israel's blocking of food aid and humanitarian supplies is forcing starvation on hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. Long queues of children in the north of Gaza, in particular, are desperate for anything to eat. Aid agencies, including the Palestine Red Crescent and the UN's World Food Programme, report people having starved to death. The WFP has recently paused aid deliveries to the north as it can't safely deliver aid. In southern Gaza, the Israeli military is again targeting the city of Rafah. More than 1.5 million Palestinians who've been forced out from other areas are sheltering there. Bodies have been piling up at the Al-Najjar hospital. At least 25 people have been killed as a result of Israeli strikes on Rafah and Khan Yunis. 8 children are among the dead.
In my lap lies Kinsey. She was 1 year and 6 months old. I was at my in-laws with my wife and daughter. We had tea and I played with my daughter. An hour after I left, I heard airstrikes. On the news, they said there was an airstrike on the house. I ran back, only to find my daughter, my wife, my in-laws, many members of the family killed.
OK, we're going to talk to Hani Mahmoud, who's live for us in Rafah in southern Gaza. Let's talk to us, first of all, about the World Food Programme saying that it's pausing food deliveries to northern Gaza, and, of course, other aid is being blocked as well. Tell us what's been happening.
Yes, well, the decision of the World Food Programme came at a very difficult time, such dire times for Palestinians inside the northern part of Gaza City, where for the past few weeks, and in fact since the beginning of the war, haven't been able to get food supplies, and the vast majority of humanitarian trucks haven't been able to reach to the northern part of the Strip, just leaving about 600,000 of people hungry and facing famine at all levels. We're talking about extreme shortage of all necessities and basic supplies, and drinking all the contaminated water, as the majority of the water available is not suitable for human consumption. But right now, and just within the past couple of weeks, a famine signs started to become more visible as people resorted to eating plants, wild plants and animals' feed, just to sustain themselves in the face of this calamity. The decision by the World Food Programme just cuts a lifeline that people were hoping it was going to be delivered for them, so they are able to face these challenges imposed by the ongoing genocidal war. Just within the past couple of days, we looked at a video where people surrounding a truck filled with flour bags and just trying to get their hands on whatever they're able to get, just so they are able to bake bread and provide for their families. This famine is hitting the northern part of the Gaza Strip very hard, particularly when we talk about young children who are in need of these necessities and basic food supplies and nutrients for their growth. And also another vulnerable group, people with health complications, as well as women who are breastfeeding or pregnant, are in need of basic supplies, food. If this is going on, we're going to start seeing people dying in the northern part, not only from the bombs, but also from the famine that spreads like fire now.
Of course, we're still talking about ongoing strikes on the residents of Gaza. Tell us what's been happening in the last few hours.
Yes, it's been very interesting timing. Almost hours after the UN Security Council failed to pass a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire, we've seen intense bombing campaign taking place in the central area, city of Khan Yunis, and overcrowded Rafah city, and just overnight attacks. The Israeli military pushed about 30 tanks and a bulldozer with the coverage of attack drones and F-16 all the way to Al-Mawasi area, Mawasi evacuation zone, where thousands of people literally have been evacuating and sheltering in this area, as they were told by the Israeli military since the beginning of the war. If they want to avoid being bombed in the northern Gaza, they should move to this area. Found himself and is still in a state of panic and shock that this is happening, or this happened to them in a very area that they were told it is safe. The Israeli military took over the coastal road, cutting off the central area from the southern part of the Gaza Strip. In the central area, more residential homes and about one car that was targeted by missile drones, leaving more than 45 people killed and tens of other injuries reported to Al-Aqsa hospital. Here in Rafah city, overnight attack killed 5 members of one family, sheltering in a residential home in the Junaina district. And just within the past couple hours, a car was targeted in the eastern part of Rafah. And we've seen this pattern happening. Almost every area takes turn in the bombing that continues to destroy much of the residential buildings, the infrastructure, but more profoundly, the trauma that is caused to people who are seeking shelters in these areas.
Hani, thank you very much indeed. Hani Mahmoud talking to us from Rafah in southern Gaza.